Over the last 30 years, the Leavenworth Nutcracker Museum and its associated gift shop have become must-sees for visitors. Enter a wonderful world of fascinating nutcrackers. Just as Clara in the ballet became entranced with a wooden figure with a big T, so did Arlene. The curator of the museum is Arlene Wagner, born in 1925. This December, Arlene will celebrate her 100th birthday. Arlene Wagner came to be known as the Nutcracker Lady. Arlene Wagner and her late husband George put their personal collection of nutcrackers on display when they established the museum in 1995 as a non-profit organization. They have traveled far and wide and have amassed one of the world's largest collections of nutcrackers. Wagner had previously worked as a ballet instructor and supervised productions of the Nutcracker. She started her collection of the toy soldiers as a child. During the 1960s, Wagner began to purchase various kinds of nutcrackers. Displaying over 9,000 nutcrackers, the Nutcracker Museum is a unique experience for visitors with a whole history of the nutcrackers in display, from the prehistoric nutty stones to the latest wooden toys. Leavenworth Nutcracker Museum is a tribute to human imagination. People have come from all over the world specifically to view this unique collection. You will find nutcrackers from Roman times to modern day and nutting stones from the archaic period. The museum's building is of a Bavarian style and is of an area of 5,000 square feet. 2 full floors of nutcrackers from all over the world. You get to see the variety of nut-cracking devices that have been used through the ages and from around the world.
We have a lot of antique nutcrackers in the Leavenworth Nutcracker Museum, and many of them are from very early ages. This one is from the 17th century. It has a bird on the head which indicates royalty. But what is so interesting about this one is that on each end of the handle is a whistle.
You'll be fascinated with the nutcrackers in the museum, from the intricately carved antiques to newly produced ones. There are nutcrackers made from a variety of materials, from metal, wood, ivory, and even porcelain and man-made materials. There are many characters produced, from Moses, Pope Francis, Pope John Paul, George Washington to Seahawks footballer. Some are scary while some are funny. There is a large collection of nutcrackers from all across the globe. Meet the famous Karl, created and carved in Germany in the early 80s by Karl Rappel out of one piece of linden wood.
May I introduce Karl? Karl is the mascot of the Leavenworth Nutcracker Museum, and he was carved in Oberammergau, Germany by Karl Rappel out of one piece of linden wood. And Karl is standing and waiting for you to come and have your picture taken with him.
I ensure to take a selfie with Karl. Take a photo of your children as they gather in front of the giant mouse king. This will make a delightful festive card to send to everyone on your list. Most likely, the earliest nutcrackers were teeth, but when the shells were too hard and too thick to crack the nut, rocks did the job. The earliest known tools humans used for cracking nuts were stones that had a little dimple in them. These stones are called cup stones, pitch stones, pitted stones, nutting stones, or a dozen other names people have given them over the centuries. If you use a stone shaped like a cup, you can sit a walnut in, so it will stay put and get smashed open, leaving the meat of the nut for you and your companions to devour. But if you pick up a rock and hit a walnut on a flat surface, the nut could go flying left or right or otherwise slip away from your rock's crushing blow. The Leavenworth Nutcracker Museum has in their collection pitted stones dating to the archaic period 4,000 to 8,000 years ago that have been found in excavations in North America and Europe. As technologies progressed, nutcrackers became more advanced and mechanical. The handheld nutcracker tool developed and simplified and doesn't vary much from the functional nutcracking tools we use today. There are many examples from the 13th to 16th centuries of metal spindle-like tools used to crack the hard shells, revealing the delicious nut inside. There are also early examples of a bit more creativity in nut cracking. The iron board variety, featuring various animals, human figures, became popular in Asia, Europe, and the United States in the 19th century. Iron was a formidable material against the harder outer shell, and many times the nutcrackers were designed to hold the nut in the mouth of the animal. History buffs who want to study the historical nutting stones will get a lot to see and learn. Nutcracker collectors will see the characteristics of different makers. The museum appeals to all ages. The little ones love the museum. Kids will love Mickey and all his friends. The history of nutcrackers extends as far back as when humans were cracking and eating nuts, and will continue on into the future for as long as people continue to enjoy nature's shelled protein and healthy fat source. In one of the interviews, Casey Safford asks Arlene Wagner about her message to the world. Let's watch what Arlene says.
What life advice do you have for our viewers? What lesson would you like to pass on to younger generations watching?
Just keep busy. Just keep going. I think that's the most important thing that I could ever advise anyone. Keep busy.
And how do you plan on celebrating your century birthday?
Oh, we're going to have a big party, and on December the 8th, and we are inviting everybody to come, have a piece of birthday cake with me, and it's going to be at the Icicle Resort, and it'll be fun.
Which nutcracker in your collection would you say holds the most sentimental value to you?
I think that would be Carl, our hand-carved 6-foot nutcracker from Oberammergau that we had him make for us. It's a beer drinker, which fits fabulously into the theme of Leavenworth.
When in Leavenworth, make it a point to visit the Nutcracker Museum.